Hello, this is my first video with a voice. Well, not mine, just a AI for now. Let's call him Bob. That's a fitting name for now. Moving on from that, I will show and fully explain the workings of my 50,000 inhabitant island that includes some challenges that I have set for myself, like no nuclear power, no electric boiler, and minimal imports. So basically stick to importing the necessary things like copper ore, iron ore, and gold, and not importing things like coal, crude oil, and uranium. Right, let's dive into it, shall we? Firstly, let's start with water production, since it is the most used resource in this game after all. The easiest way I can get water is by utilizing the settlement's waste first. So using the trash to generate steam for desalination, same with biomass, using it to make the water, for it to be mainly used in biodiesel, farms, etc. I would use rain collectors to get the majority of my water needs, but since one makes only 2.3 water per minute, they are basically useless. And I can use other, more space-efficient water generation methods, like using farms to make biodiesel and cracking that into naphtha, then into fuel gas to be made into hydrogen and burned for steam to make water for the whole build. And surprisingly, it is water positive, around 120 water per minute per 3 farms, which honestly is pretty impressive for it, except when you take one look at sugarcane farms that I will be using the most water overall. They use 60 water per minute per farm, so the 3 farms would only make enough water to fuel 2 sugarcane farms, which is not that impressive, but it's more space efficient than rain collectors, so I will go with it. You may be asking, why not use wood for water when you're already using it for power? Well, even one wood boiler takes a significant amount of land and vehicles to make it work. So again, I do believe that this farm water method is the best available to me. Plus, another benefit of it is that it consumes very little power, which is a plus less wood spent on that water. Next, I will talk about food production, everyone's favorite feature about this game. In this run, I will provide every food since food processing is not that bad in my opinion, and it's not really that energy heavy. Then in return, you get a ton of unity, about 7 unity from providing every single food to the settlement. I will use this unity to use some edicts like food saver, so the settlement eats less, meaning I need to have less farms, saving me a ton of water, land, and fertilizer. Therefore, lowering the energy use, and since I only have a small 750 megawatt power budget, this is important. Although I won't use that unity to use edicts like water saver, because yes, it does lower water consumption in farms, but it also lowers the water consumption of the settlement. This might sound good, but it isn't, since the settlement use less water, that means they make less poop. And that is important because it makes a lot of fuel gas that can be used to make hydrogen, power, water, etc. So I will try not to use it since the fuel gas from the poop is quite valuable in my situation. Now I will talk about power, and since in the intro I said I would do minimal imports, so no importing wood, coal, or uranium, this means I have to use wood power. That includes me growing trees on my island to then make into wood chips for the boilers to make into power. I have gone with 50 wood boilers, each consuming 48 wood a minute. That equals to 2,400 wood per minute, just for power, and them 50 boilers only make 750 megawatts, or 3 fast breeding reactors worth. The turbines will have auto balance on them so I don't waste wood when I am not using the power that it is making. Coal will also be made from wood. The coal will only be used in silicon poly and maybe filter media and graphite production. So I won't need much of it. Chairs will also use wood. This means the power, coal, and the chairs will use wood. I estimate a total usage of 2,600 wood per minute. This will be made via 30 forestry towers, consuming a large part of my available island space and using pretty much all of my vehicles in the process, so everything on the island will be belted to not use trucks, since they will all be doing forestry. I also thought for the furnaces, which would be more wood efficient, making coal for the blast furnaces too, or using wood to make power for the arc furnaces too. After doing some maths, the arc furnaces are more efficient on wood, so I will be using them for all my smelting needs, and in total, I will only need 66, all spread over doing glass, copper, steel, iron, and silicon poly. For the last part, I will talk about fuel production, cargo ships, and the thoughts behind the challenges I have set myself on this run. For fuel, the vehicles for forestry will run off hydrogen, since that can be easily made from the farms, and since the edicts will lower their fuel consumption greatly, they won't consume much. For the cargo ships, I will use diesel, since gold will need diesel, so why not have the ships also consume diesel as well? In total, I will have 7 ships exporting copper ore, iron ore, gold, limestone, slag, quartz rock. I could do without importing rock, but since it saves so much water, I will use it this time. Also, did you know when you use the diesel to gold contracts, 1 gold costs 24 diesel, or 1 cracking unit's worth crazy, isn't it? All the diesel for the golden cargo ships will be biodiesel. Since I can't import crude oil, this will consist of 10 chemical plants making 54 diesel each that will have 10 sugarcane farms and 27 canola farms. Now, finally, my thoughts behind setting myself these challenges is that I have used the fast breeding reactor for so long, and that is basically free power, water, and hydrogen. So setting this challenge opens my eyes to new ways of doing things that I would have previously never thought of. And some of you may have seen that I have left my 250,000 population island. And don't worry, I have left it on pause whilst I play this island, and I may come back to it at a later date. In conclusion, I recommend this kind of challenge to anyone watching this video, since it will really open your eyes to doing things a new and different way in this game. I have seen other people also do solar only or digging the deepest hole they can, and I do recommend them as well, but I will personally most likely not do them kind of challenges since they don't really appeal to me, but they may to you. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I also hope you like this script. I wrote it took me 1 hour and 20 minutes. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.